love it. We love it.
Excellent.
Dries up like
Very nice.
self-raising flour.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm afraid I turned the recording on halfway through the first one, so we may have you play 8 bars at the end to just uh, and then
You're
Terry
mean,
can mix it in his Mixmaster
you're
Studios.
a mean man, Mr. Stewart.
That was great. Good start to that. Thank you very much. All right, let's have Terry now
Oh,
to
okay.
take it away, and I will mute everybody. Okay, all yours.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this business of all these instruments that we think are traditional, and there was a sort of a wave of, in the late 19th century, there was the parlor music craze. And that did a lot to spread around things like guitar and mandolin, until up until that point, the primary American country instruments were just banjo and fiddle. So the mandolin and the guitar didn't get in there very much until really into the 20th century. And this is about the time I think the banjo came into Irish music and Australian music as well. Okay, I'm going to do Spotted Cow, which I've done for you before, but it's such a fun little tune, I'm just going to do it again. There it is. One morning in the month of June, from my cot I strayed, was at the dawning of the day, met with a charming maid. Was at the dawning of the day, I met with a charming maid. Good morning to you, Wither, said I, good morning to you now. The maid replied, kind sir, she cried, I've lost me spotted cow. The maid replied, kind sir, she cried, I've lost me spotted cow. That last little phrase escapes me sometimes. No longer weep, no longer mourn, your cow's now lost me dear. Oh, I spied her down in yonder grove, come lovin', I'll show you where. Oh, I spied her down in yonder grove, come lovin', I'll show you where. I must confess you're very kind. I thank you, sir, said she. We will be sure her there to find. Come, sweetheart, come with me. Come, we will be sure her there to find. Come, sweetheart, come with me. Oh, and in the grove they spent the day. They thought it passed too soon. Night they homeward went their way, while brightly shone the moon. At night they homeward went their way, while brightly shone the moon. And if he should cross the flowery dale, or go to view the plough, she calls and comes and calls him, gentle swain, I've lost me spotted cow. She comes and calls him, gentle swain, I've lost me spotted cow. Let's try that again. There it is. Someday I'll get that all down. Thank you.
That's how we know it's live, Terry. That's how we know it's
I
live.
get way up the neck, and and the altitude makes me dizzy. I had another question, perhaps for Tom and Stuart. The Wild Colonial Boy. There's this tune of the Wild Colonial Boy that I hear from Irish musicians, like our friend, what's his name, did the other day. But the tune I'm familiar with is from A.L. Lloyd, and it sounds completely different. And it goes like, uh, there was a wild colonial boy, Jack Doolan was his name, born in the state of Victoria, not far from Castlemaine. So
Okay, that's well, a bit faster than that is the one I grew up with. You know, there was a wild colonial boy, Jack Doolan was his name. He was.
that's the verse. That's the version I hear from Irish musicians, and
Yeah,
I
that's the
wondered
one.
if it came from Australia or from somebody like Tommy Makem or the Irish Rovers, because
Right.
it really sounds like the sort of stuff they like to do.
It's
Yeah, and it was made to
fast,
dance.
faster the better. It's a foot stomper and a beer drinker.
Exactly. You got bushwhackers, baby, bushwhackers.
Bushwhacker. Yeah. All right. Very good. Moving right along. It is now time for Tom, and I will mute everybody.
Right.
All right, Tom, all yours.
Okay. Oh, to be Irish is to dream, you know. To dream is everything, you know. Waking only the surface of the sea, dreaming is the way to be. Waking up in happiness, it doesn't matter where you are. What matters is who you really are. How to choose to dance in the steps of your ancestors, all those who have broken ground before and after. Every holy moment of your enlightenment, illumination might see another door opening, closing, a window through which you can see your soul flying. The eyes and smiles of those you love and respect affirming. You're being reflected back by a cat, dog, tree, bird, weather, cloud, pattern, connection is everything. You better forget to sing. Remember to forget. Balm and bandage, let go and release all past pain memories that choke and hold ye. Let go the wild dogs that bite, the savage shark, the beasts of night. Every time you suffered instead of experiencing delight, move on past the walls and wounds, wailing sirens and harsher sounds. Seek instead the calm remembrances where peace and kindness can be found. Every event, selective editing, you can spend your whole life on fire or travel to the end to assure your friends you're still just a creature of desire. Remembering the sweet rose aroma, forgetting the thorns that bleed, remembering generosity and laughter, forgetting the deep canyon of needs, all the places you will go. We leave you when I close my eyes, I wait for life to take me. I close down light and sound and go inside where I can hide me. This hidden space, this sanctuary evades all limitations. When I arrive, I instantly know I have found my destination. It is different every journey, broken by the crush of light. Here, half dreams hijack me in the middle of each night. I need no visa, nor passport, no Uber, bus, or train. I astral travel every evening, leave on time without fail. And when I return, I learn how everything has changed. I consider my dreams each night as an ocean. Dreams repeating, waves beating, but never being beaten. From which emerge serpents, mermaids, dragons, and that girl you knew before you knew anyone. You forget water, half a cup drunk before you go to sleep with a spoken affirmation. Tonight, I will remember my dreams. And you wake up eccentrically, drink the remaining water, then write down whatever you remember. Usually footprints in Irish tides disappearing, perhaps a seashell castle, jellyfish soup, people you once knew. You go back to sleep, but the dreams are deeper now, underwater now. You dive down past the big blue, free dive like pearl seekers. You see sunken civilizations, rusted lawnmowers, broken computers. You sit on the bottom of the sea looking up. Light filters down harmonically. You feel those waves that bodies surfed you on the surface. Here they have hidden powers. You are smaller, wrapped in waters. You dream this every night like repeating rifles. You wake up startled. Deja vu, premonition, or the fact that you drank far too much water. Thank you all.
Excellent, John. Excellent. Zoo.
Dream on.
Water.
Water. Water, please. Water.
Yeah, I'm taking a lot of water these days. It's allergies really dry
Yep.
out the mouth
Yep.
and the nose and the ears.
Tea tree oil, baby.
All right, moving right along. It is the Hoodens, and we will mute everybody. Okay.
Okay, we have a piece that's fresh off the press, just finished a few minutes ago. It's a Scottish song by John Cameron that was written in 1856, and I can't pronounce it in Scottish. It's really complicated, but it means mountain, misty mountains. And the lyrics, it's a cry from their hearts. They're yearning to go home, to go back to the mountains. And we played this little piece years and years ago, and I found it today and I thought it would sound pretty on a native flute, and that way I could play a bass flute because I thought y'all were getting tired of hearing the soprano recorder. And so I wrote it for a bass flute and then for a medium flute. And Jeff's going to play it on classical guitar. And we're going to put it together first time we've played this arrangement that was just finished a few minutes ago. I call it Irish Mountain Miss.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Very evocative,
And
wonderful.
that was lovely, lovely, lovely.
Thank you, thank you.
You get a second go as well if you want it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for our second one, I'm going to go back to the soprano recorder, and we pulled up some new music we haven't played in a long time, and this is a thing called Brian Boru's March. He was born around 940. He was the king of Ireland from 1002 to 1014, and he was killed in battle in 1014. And this was just a little song that was written for him. James Galway played it on one of his Pop's albums, and he just called it Irish Traditional. So we're just going to play just a couple of minutes, maybe 1 minute of it, because it's real short and sweet. And I'll switch over to soprano.
Yay!
I think you forgot to mute everybody on that one. We might give another go at that next time or something.
I muted myself. All right, we'll try better on the next one. That was great though. That was neat. I've heard that done with a flute and a harp. Brian Boru's March. They call it Brian Boru's March. You can hear the bagpipes in it. All right, moving right along. It is time for Mary Jane. And I will mute everybody. Okay. Mary Jane, you need open up. Yep.
Okay, I'm unmuted and I'm gonna do the Foggy Dew, a song about an Easter uprising. As down the glen one Easter morn to a city fair rode I. Their armed lines of marching men in squadrons passed me by. No pipe did hum, no battle drum did sound its loud tattoo. But the angels fell o'er the lifty swell, rang out in the foggy dew. Was England bade our wild geese go, that small nations might be free? Their lonely graves are by Seville's waves, or the fringe of the great North Sea. Oh, had they died by Pierce's side, or fought with Cathal Brugh, me and sleep neath the shroud of the foggy dew. Right proudly high over Dublin town, they hung out the flag of war. 'Twas better to die 'neath an Irish sky than at Subla or Suddell Bar. And from the plains of royal Meath, strong men came hurrying through, while Britannia's hands with their long-range guns sailed in through the foggy dew. But the bravest bell and the requiem bell rang mournfully and clear for those who died that Easter tide in the springtime of the year. While the world did gaze with deep amaze at those fearless men, but few who bore the fight that freedom's light might shine through the foggy dew. And back through the glen I rode again, and my heart with grief was sore. For I parted then with valiant men, whom I never shall see more. But to and fro in my dreams I go, and I kneel and pray for you. For slavery fled, oh glorious dead, when you fell in the foggy dew.
Very good. Classic song of the
Yeah,
earlier rebellion,
most
one of the earlier
appropriate to the
rebellion.
day, isn't it? Yeah.
All right, that's great. Well, now, Kay, it is your turn to give us something if you wish, and poetry, prose, song, music, or just be an audience. It's up to you. I'm going to mute everybody first. Then you should turn your microphone back on.
Okay,
Here we go. Okay, you need to turn your mic back on.
I'll unmute. I really love the group, but I have no Irish in me, except that I love Seamus Heaney and have his books and enjoy the songs, the Irish songs. All I can bring to the table today are some haiku. Otherwise, I should really be silent and listen here.
Haiku is great.
Okay, some spring haiku. With deference to winter, under white blanket, the green of spring waits. A waking earth stirs, approaching in spring colors, chaste celadon bride. Tree branches bursting, tender green, pink, fuchsia, white, God's promise to earth. Spotted fawn prancing, exploring white tail haven. Tiny hoofs tease earth. Thank you.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, thank you. That was lovely.
Those are great.
Yes, we're a very ecumenical group. We take all offerings. And you're up next. I'm going to mute everybody. Okay, up to you.
Hello, I don't know if you can hear in my microphone, but it's blowing a gale here. Absolutely stormy. This is a song from the Clearances. Hush, hush, time to be sleeping. Hush, hush, dreams come a creeping. Dreams of peace and of freedom. So smile in your sleep, Bonnie Benny. Once our valleys were ringing with songs of our children singing, but now sheep bleat till the evening, and sheilings lie empty and broken. Hush, hush, time to be sleeping. Hush, hush, dreams come a creeping. Dreams of peace and of freedom. So smile in your sleep, Bonnie Benny. Where is our proud Highland metal, our troops, once so fierce in battle, now stand cowed, huddled like cattle, and wait to be shipped o'er the ocean. Hush, hush, time to be sleeping. Hush, hush, dreams come a creeping. Dreams of peace and of freedom. So smile in your sleep, Bonnie Benny. No use pleading or praying, for gone, gone is all hope of staying. Hush, hush, the anchor's a-weighing. Don't cry in your sleep, Bonnie Benny. Hush, hush, time to be sleeping. Hush, hush, dreams come a creeping. Dreams of peace and of freedom. So smile in your sleep, Bonnie Benny.
Very stirring.
That's the sad one.
It was the same melody we did with just different words.
Yeah.
Because our words are, I see the mist of mountains, I miss the mist of mountains, and it was all about nature from the Gaelic. We have the Gaelic words.
The tune is Hímanamorph, you know. Oh, Hímanamorph, you know. Which is, I see the mountains, I see the corries.
Yes, that's
I-
the words we have.
Are you on the coast of Argyll, Anne, or a bit inland?
I am, yes.
You get the girls first.
I'm on the Holy Loch where the American submarines used to be.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, okay.
that's for the cat.
A few Americans stayed behind and lived there, as I understand it. So.
Quite a few stayed actually when they went. They went in about the late 80s, I think they went, but we still have one or two old gentlemen left
No,
that didn't go.
there's a connection. All right, very good. Well, it's come all the way around, and it's my turn, so I'm going to mute everybody. All right. I thought to start off, this is very much springtime. It's also Easter Sunday. It's very much a story of, in the Northern Hemisphere at least, of southern winds and resurrection and new life and life coming out of death. And a very common theme in many spring festivals and the Christian tradition, of course. So I thought I'd do an old song that I learned years ago called South Wind. South wind of the gentle rain, you banish winter weather, bring salmon to the pool again, the bees among the heather. If northward now you mean to blow, as you rise so soft above me, Godspeed be with you as you go, and a kiss for those that love me. From south I come with velvet breeze, my word all nature blesses. I melt the snow and strew the leaves with flower and warm caresses. I'll help you to dispel your woes, with joy I'll take your greeting, and bear it to your loved Mayo upon my wings so fleeting. Connaught, famed for wine and play, so Leo, so gay, so loving, here's my fond kiss that I send today, borne on the wind in its roving. These monster folks are good and kind, right royally they treat me, but this land I'll gladly leave behind, with your Connaught pipes to greet me. South wind of the gentle rain, you banish winter weather, bring salmon to the pool again, the bees among the heather. If northward now you mean to blow, as you rise so soft above me, Godspeed be with you as you go, and a kiss for those that love me.
Hurrah! That's good.
Okay. Sorry, I was having trouble with my buttons there. So, all right, we've been around once. We'll go around again. And it's David, and I'm gonna mute everybody. Okay, David, all yours.
So this is probably a very old song. It was collected in Kentucky from the Gene Ritchie family, and it's actually a song about Easter. Although the title and the first verse suggest that it's a Christmas song because it's called "Christ Was Born in Bethlehem." However, after the first verse, it's all about Easter. So some years ago, Gene Ritchie wrote Christmas verses for it. But this is the original text. Christ was born in Bethlehem. Christ was born in Bethlehem. Christ was born in Bethlehem, and in a manger laid, and in a manger laid, and in a manger laid. Christ was born in Bethlehem, and in a manger laid. Judas he betrayed him. Judas he betrayed him. Judas he betrayed him. Sold him to his foes. Sold him to his foes and sold him to his foes. Judas he betrayed him. Sold him to his foes. The men they crucified him. The men they crucified him. The men they crucified him. They nailed him to the tree. They nailed him to the tree. They nailed him to the tree. The men they crucified him. They nailed him to the tree. Joseph begged his body. Joseph begged his body. Joseph begged his body and laid it in the grave. And laid it in the grave. And laid it in the grave. Joseph begged his body and laid it in the grave. The grave it could not hold him. The grave it could not hold him. The grave it could not hold him. He burst the bonds of death. He burst the bonds of death. He burst the bonds of death. The grave it could not hold him. He burst the bonds of death. Down came an angel. Down came an angel. Down came an angel and rolled the stone away. And rolled the the stone away, rolled the stone away. Down came an angel, rolled the stone away. Mary, she came weeping, Mary, she came weeping, Mary, she came weeping, her blessed Lord to see, her blessed Lord to see, her blessed Lord to see. Mary, she came weeping, her blessed Lord to see. What's the matter, Mary? What's the matter, Mary? What's the matter, Mary? They stole away my Lord. They stole away my Lord. They stole away my Lord. What's the matter, Mary? They stole away my Lord. Go and tell thy brethren, go and tell thy brethren, go and tell thy brethren, made me in the sea. To meet me in Galilee, to meet in Galilee. Go and tell thy brethren, he's risen from the dead. Christ was born in Bethlehem, Christ was born in Bethlehem, Christ was born in Bethlehem, and in a manger laid, and in a manger laid, and in a manger laid. Christ was born in Bethlehem, and in a manger laid.
Excellent.
All right.
Those bass strings really come through like a drone on that banjo. Very nice.
You have a newcomer.
Yeah, we've got Mike on the West Coast and Ken somewhat towards the East Coast, as I recall. So I think I'm going to make a arbitrary decision and get them on early, so that we're just beginning the second round. So rather than wait till the end of the second round, Ken is actually going to be up next, and then before we go to Terry. So it gives Mike a chance to finish his lunch there, and and Ken's ready to go. So I'm going to mute everybody. We go from there. Here we go. Mute all.
Are you talking about me? Am I the Ken?
You're the man.
Oh, okay.
You can.
Sometimes it's awkward when there's another person of the same name. My wife, Kathy, runs into that all the time.
Yeah. Now you're the only one, Ken. You're the only one, Ken. You can. There you go.
Okay. I just got back from a nice Easter walk. It's in the 70s here in Pennsylvania, and walked over to my mom's house, and took some pictures on her decorated front porch, and that's why I'm checking in a little behind schedule here. Let's see. This is a homesick song about a fella who has to leave to go to London to find work, and he's writing a letter back to his girl, and it's called "The Mountains of Mourne." Oh, Mary, this London's a wonderful sight. The people are busy by day and by night. Now they don't plant potatoes, nor barley, nor wheat, but there's gangs of 'em digging for gold in the street. At least when I ask them, that's what I am told. So I tried my hand at that digging for gold. But for all that I found there, I might as well be where the mountains of morn sweep right down to the sea. I remember in writing a wish you expressed as to how the fine ladies of London were dressed. Now you wouldn't believe it when asked to a ball. They don't wear no tops to their dresses at all. For I've seen it myself, and you wouldn't in truth know if they were bound for a ball or a bath. Don't go trying those fashions now, Mary McCree, where the mountains of morn sweep right down to the sea. You remember young Peter McLaughlin, of course. Well, he's now over here at the head of the force. I saw him today, I was crossing the Strand. He stopped the whole street with a wave of his hand. And as we stood talking of days that are gone, the whole population of London looked on. But for all of his power, he'd much rather be where the mountains of morn sweep right down to the sea. For all of his power, he'd much rather be where the mountains of morn sweep right down to the sea. Oh, I wish I could have heard that A whistle there, Stuart.
I heard it. It was great. It goes
nice.
well with that song.
That song goes well with whistle. Yes, it does. And Murphy's.
No whistles. Top of the morning. Top of the afternoon. Anyway.
And
That was lovely. I was going to say the guy who wrote that is Percy French, I think. Someone can correct me here, but
yeah,
he was a real Renaissance man. He was also a fine artist, of painter of watercolors, and he did everything. So get a few of those around once in a while.
kind of like a Shel Silverstein.
Yeah, a little more classy than Shell, I think.
No.
Okay, very good. That's great. Thank you so much. Okay, Mike, you're up next, and we're going to unmute everybody first. So here we go.
All right.
Sorry, I messed up. You need to do it again.
There we go. Now we're set. Okay. So another immigrant song, more recent. It's by Brendan Graham, Isle of Hope, Isle of Tears. And just sort of think back to when you were 15 years old. On the first day of January 1892, they opened Ellis Island and they let the people through. And the first to cross the threshold of that Isle of Hope and Tears was Annie Moore from Ireland, who was all of 15 years. Isle of Hope, Isle of Tears, Isle of Freedom, Isle of Fears, but it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of Hunger, Isle of Pain, Isle you'll never see again. But the Isle of Home is always on your mind. In a little bag she carried all her past and history, and her dreams for the future in the land of liberty. And courage is the passport when your old world disappears. But there's no future in the past when you're 15 years. Isle of Hope, Isle of tears, Isle of freedom, Isle of fears, but it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of hunger, Isle of pain, Isle you'll never see again. But the Isle of home is always on your mind. When they closed down Ellis Island in 1943, 17 million people had come there for sanctuary. And in springtime, when I came here and I stepped onto its piers, I thought of how it must have been when you're 15 years. Isle of hope, Isle of tears, Isle of freedom, Isle of fears, but it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of hunger, Isle of pain, Isle you'll never see again. But the Isle of home is always on your mind. Isle of hope, Isle of tears, Isle of freedom, Isle of fears, but it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of hunger, Isle of pain, Isle you'll never see again. But the Isle of home is always on your mind. There you go.
Wow, that was something.
That's lovely.
It's wonderful.
You have a lovely voice, Mike.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Thank
You have
you.
a B whistle, Stuart.
That was an F whistle.
Oh, okay.
With whistles, you get to choose between the two fifths that fit the space.
Okay. Yeah.
Either the lower or the higher, and sometimes the lower one fits the high. The one anyway.
Oh, wait, Mike, what's the origins of that song? Oh, I don't know if he didn't hear me or if he doesn't know he's on
He's
mute.
muted.
You need to unmute, Mike. Sorry.
All right. Okay, that's written by Brendan Graham.
Huh, yeah.
And I first heard it when I was, I got to go to Ireland just over a year and a half ago, and I got to listen to, he's got this beautiful baritone voice, and his name just totally just disappeared from my brain here. Anyway, you'll all know him if I said his name, if I can remember. Anyway, I heard it in concert and fell in love with the song.
The Christy Moore.
No. He's maybe a little bit younger than him, and then his sister is also a wonderful singer who's I hate it when I lose names.
Is it the Black Family? No.
What's that?
The Black Family?
No, not one of the Blacks.
I'm running out of Irish singers here. Come on.
I know. It's like
Anyway, whenever you get it, just interrupt and tell us.
Okay, or I'll pop it in the chat, or we can. Yeah, I'll let you know. Yeah.
That was great, though. Lovely chorus.
Yes.
Chord progressions are gorgeous in it. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, moving back to established order, as we like to say, it's time for Terry.
Let's see, Terry in order. I can't quite get
Not
the
a good
concept.
match. I'm going to mute everybody. Here we go.
Well, I was going to sing something completely silly.
Sorry, you need to unmute.
Well, I was going to sing something completely silly as usual, or something completely serious, and I haven't been able to make up my mind, so I'll start playing and see what comes out. This is a medieval ballad, and there are literally hundreds of variants and versions of it. It's called occasionally Twa Carbies or Two Ravens or Three Ravens and some other titles. And there seem to be two main veins of variants of this. When the older version seems to go into this idealized, the idea is there are two crows in a tree talking about what they're going to eat for breakfast. And one of them says, there's a young knight fallen slain under the tree. Let's go munch on that. And in the older version, they say that he's guarded by his hawks and his hounds and his lady fair, or a doe, which sort of represents love, or something like that. And the moral is stated at the end of, we should all be so lucky to have these friends who protect us even in death. And then there's a second version, which is the one I like a little better, but it's even worse. It's very grisly. And the moral seems to be we all end up crow food in the end. So the older version, the crows don't eat the night because the hawks and the hounds are going to do them. And in the newer version, the hawks and the hounds abandon their posts. They're gone. They're off. And the lady fair goes and finds another boyfriend. And the ravens have their way. Also in this version, we work in a shipwreck, and it's a really weird song, but I'm going to sing it anyway. Oh, there was a fascinating commentary on it, and I'll put this in the chat. Hold on just a sec. There's this podcast called Every Folk Song, and he's going through the whole Route Index and giving you background on all these songs. And he had a totally fascinating episode on this song. And here are the website references. He's a little weird, but I highly recommend his podcast. There's some fascinating stuff on it. Anyway, this is Trois Corbees, or two ravens. And the version I play, I heard when I was a kid off of some old record album that my dad had. And I think it was maybe somebody like Richard Dyer Bennett, or some classical singer. And I've never been able to find exactly that same version, so I sort of had to reconstruct it out of various other verses. So here it is. Corbees sat on a tree, down a down, hey down a down, large and black as they might be, with a down. I heard one and two the others say, where shall we go and dine today? Shall we dine? Shall we go down to the salt, salt sea? Or shall we dine neath the greenwood tree? As I walked down the white sea sand, down a down, a down a down, I saw a fair ship near at hand, with a down. I waved my wing, I bent my beak, the ship sank down with a howling shriek. There lie the sailors, one and two and three. Shall we dine by the salt, salt sea? Come, let me show you a better sight. Down a down, a down a down, a lonesome glen, a new slain night, with a dam, and nobody knows that he lies there but his hound and hawk and his lady fair. his sword half drawn and his blood run free. Shall we dine neath the greenwood tree? His hound is to the hunting gone, down a down a down a down. His hawk to fetch the wild fowl home, with a down. His lady's away with another mate. Shall we go and make our feasting sweet? Dinner is sure and the feast is free. Come, let us dine with the greenwood tree. And here's a really lovely part. Oh, you can tear at his naked thighs, down and down, a down and down. I'll peck out his fine blue eyes with a down. You can pull a lock of his yellow hair to mend your nest when it grows bare. Let us go and take our feasting free. Let us dine neath the greenwood tree. Oh, cold and bare his bed will be, down a down a down a down. When winter storms sing in a tree with a down, he will not hear young maidens cry, and o'er his bones the wild birds fly. The wild deer run and the foxes flee. Let us dine neath the greenwood tree.
Wonderfully done. Wonderfully. Thank you.
I'll try to do something to cheer you up next time.
Yeah,
That's so Irish.
picking on that minor chord there, or whatever.
Yeah. That's like a murder ballad, I tell you.
Yeah.
It's a murder of crows.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yes.
You got it. You got it. Well done.
It was a minor bird and a minor chord, I think it's what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Oh,
It wouldn't have gone over so well if it was
well done.
3 minus set on it. I don't know.
Oh,
Uh,
just to let you know, I posted in the chat
okay.
the names and stuff, but
Yep.
the name I was searching for was Sean Keane. Of course, he's very famous and wonderful, and his sister Dolores Keane.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. All right, moving right along. It is Tom's turn, and I'm going to mute everybody. Here we go. Mute all. Okay,
To be
Tom.
Irish is to be nostalgic, to be loving the poetry, to be loving your ancestors, stories, songs, ballads, and here we go, ancestors entering us. They remain more real than living, feeling them at stages of their becoming, some the last flicker flame of life flight, more the roar of their fiery spirits burning. Imagine they stand with us at open mics, we affirm each other, even if they are shades and shapes and shadows of who they were when we were wild. I could name these consenting ones, but that would only make sense if you knew them. Happily, most evaded fame, notoriety, and were light to those who saw them in their bright life. Poets, musicians, dancers, they still hold power in their presence. Taken by time, they smile each night, and on stage, where the conjuring of all that ever happened before becomes Akashic records now. I hold them closer than my memories. They were my best examples of emergent humanity. You see, they still live for me, with me, every time I speak to you, and when I listen to their beaming presence. I went with one to the Austin Capitol to read poetry to the too few who wish to see renewable energies in Austin. It was a Good Friday, only 2021, more days just sitting in the Easter spring sun where resurrection of the spirit is the only agenda while the world pays for admission to more distractions. I wanted to focus on this only holy moment. So we gathered at the state capitol with 3 DPS with semi-automatic weapons and yellow tape, police line, do not cross. This was just before those Washington, D.C. murders hit us. The April Good Friday, cheerful and warm, all the banners were homemade, all our hopes were to close down the Fayette power plant that destroyed the waters of Bastrop and LaGrange, and to use the energies that renew. Well, we were few, but we shared and talked and handed out leaflets to Capitol tourists. They took photographs too, and the group photograph might score some Facebook views. But the joy of being together with those of like mind meant that we could envision a future of power and justice and truth. Solar, wind, geothermal agree with us too. Renewable energies with and surrounding us. I took Deb Akers with us. She set up the poetry readings at Bookwoman. She was the editor of Borderlands Literary Journal. She marketed and edited the children's anthology for the Austin International Poetry Festival. She ran that festival as a volunteer, as well as many other poetry circles here. Her joyous spirit as in an elegant sufficiency rare in 2021 society. So I took her, my poetic ancestor, to that small gathering outside the Capitol, and I handed her one fine book to any willing smiler. For is not our future dependent upon all such willing volunteers? Most took the book, puzzled. Poetry at a demonstration? They have all come to close down the Fayette coal plant polluting Bastrop and LaGrange water supplies. But they understand voluntarism and already have a copy of the book, having understood the necessity for poetry. But look, they have stopped and started to read the poems each to each and to share them. I see a Deb Akers smiling, expanding amongst every joyous sharer there. Her spirit has moved them to gather again for the million in our Texas to clear consciousness, clear waters, restoration of the tree canopy, and renewable energy. Good work, Deb. Good work, poetry ancestors. Good work, everyone. Happy Easter. Resurrection, you can come back now. Long live all of us. Long live all of us.
Yeah, I saw a YouTube clip of you there. Cool.
Yeah, that's right. You saw it. Wow.
Yeah.
Poetry for people, baby. It's
all right, it's now the Hortons' turn. I'm going to mute everybody. There we go.
Okay, we're going to do another Scottish tune, but this one's, instead of a beautiful nature piece, this is going to be kind of a funny, rowdy jig. It's called The Mucking of Gordy's Brae. You may have heard of it before. We'll do our version of it.
The Mucking of Geordie's Brae.
Brae.
what's your second item? Oh, yeah. Sorry, you're still muted.
Okay. Okay. Okay, the next one is Sally Gardens. It's an Irish tune that was written in 1889, and you're probably all familiar with the melody. Sometimes it's called The Maids of Mourne Shore. And the words used is a poem by William Butler Yeats, Down by the Sally Gardens. It's a kind of a love song. It's really pretty. In the Episcopal Church, we use it for one of our service hymns during Lent.
Okay.
Wonderful.
That's lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was very, very nice arrangement indeed.
Thank you.
Impeccably played. And a lovely, nice to hear that guitar there too. So, very nice. All right. Moving along. It is time for Mary Jane. And I will mute everybody. Okay, Mary Jane, I think it's all yours.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to do the Black Velvet Band. Adam did a really great version of this a few weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, but I'd been working on it, so I wasn't going to let that stop me. And there's a lot of different versions of it too. We probably don't have the same version. It's a transportation song where somebody gets in trouble and gets sentenced to go to Australia, which they call Van Diemen's Land in this version. I went walking down Broadway, not intending to stay very long. I met with a frolicsome damsel as she came a tripping along. I watched right into my hand. On the very first day that I met her, bad luck to the black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds. You'd think she was queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Was in the town of Tralee, an apprentice to trade I was bound, with a plenty of bright amusement to see the days go round. Till misfortune and trouble came o'er me, which caused me to stray from my land, far away from my friends and relations, to follow the black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds. You'd think she was queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Before the judge and the jury, the both of us had to appear, and a gentleman swore to the jury the case against us was clear. For 7 years transportation, right unto Van Diemen's Land, far away from my friends and relations, to follow her black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds. You'd think she was queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Oh, all you brave Irish lads, a warning take by me. Beware of the pretty young damsels that are knocking around in Tralee. They'll treat you to whiskey and porter until you're unable to stand. And before you have time to leave them, you are unto Van Diemen's Land. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds. You'd think she was queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band.
Very nice.
Yes. One of those Irish Australian songs. All about transportation. Yes, indeed. All right. Very good. Well done. All right. It's Anne's turn, I believe. Yep. I shall mute everybody. Here we go. Okay, Anne, it's all
Okay, I
yours.
don't. Can you actually hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we're good. Yeah,
Can you actually hear me?
we can hear you well. Yes.
Oh, good. Because my internet's a bit unstable, so if I disappear in the middle, you'll know why.
We're all unstable over here, so you're in good company. So
Okay. This is a song that traditional song that went to America and came back again. So, a man came riding out the west one wild and stormy day. He was tall and quiet and hungry, and his eyes were smoky grey. He was lean across the hardies, but his shoulders they were big. The terror o' the Highland glens, that was the Portree Kid. Well, his sidekick was an Orman, and oh, but he was mean. He was called the Midnight Ploughboy, and he come frae Aberdeen. He had 27 notches on his cromach, so they say, and he'd killed 1,000,000 Indians way up in Stornoway. He drum ho, he drum hey, the chuchter that come frae Skye. Well, Portree booted in the door, he sauntered tae the bar. He poured a shot of crabbies, and he shouted slange afar. While midnight was being chatted up by a barroom gal called Pam, who said, well, howdy, stranger, would you buy us a baby sham? Now over in the corner sat 3 men frae Ochtertool. They were playing games for money in a snakes and ladders school. The 4th man was a southerner who'd come up frae McMurray. He'd been a river gambler on the Ballyhoolish ferry. He drum ho, he drum hey, the chuchter that come frae Skye. Portree walked up to the table and he shouted, shake me in. And he suggled on the egg cup and gave the dice a spin. He threw 7 sixes in a row and the game was nearly done. But then he landed on a snake and landed on square one. The game was nearly over and Portree was staying fine. He landed on a ladder, he was up to 49. He only had but 1 to go and the other man was beat. But the gambler cowed the board door and shouted, you're a cheat. Men dived behind the rubber plants to try and save their skins. The accordionist stopped playing. His sidekick dropped the spoons. He says, I think it's funny you've been up that ladder twice. And you always dunt the table when I'm going to throw the dice. He drum ho, he drum hey, the chuchter that come frae Skye. The gambler drew his skean-doo as fast as lightning speed. Portree grabbed a screw top and cracked him o'er the head. And then he gave him laldy wi' a salmon off the wall. And he finished off the business with his lucky grousefoot's claw. Portree walked up to the bar. He says, I'll hae you off. And you like the way I stuck it to that wee McMurray naff? But the southerner crept up behind, his features wrapped with pain, and gubbed him with an ashtray, made out to a curling stain. He drum ho, he drum hey, the chuchter that come frae Skye. Well, the fight went raging on all night till opening time next day, with a break for soup and stovies off a coronation tray. It was getting kind of obvious that neither man would win, when came the shout that stopped it all. There's a bus trip coming in. Well, they sing this song in Galashiels and up to Peterhead, way down o'er the borders, across the Rio Tweed, about what became of Portree, Midnight and the Gambling Man. They opened up a gift shop, selling fresh air in a can. He drum ho, he drum hey, the chuchter that come frae sky. The Corries, it was their introduction to Annette.
That's great. I haven't laughed so much since the Iron Brew song.
I love the chorus, but you're
That was
expecting
an
a
absolute
repertoire of
riot.
Mickey-taking songs, I have to admit, so that's really good. Now, Terry, did you have one verse of Ghost Chickens in the Sky you can just throw in there?
Gosh, I'd have to look it up.
Okay.
I forget the words.
Terry has a version of
That's a
that song
great.
called
That's a great version of.
Ghost Chickens in the Sky. That's for
Yeah, I
another
They're
got
very clever verses, so if you get them wrong, it messes them up. Yeah.
a chicken farmer walked out on
There
a
you
dark
go.
day. By a coop he rested as he went upon his way. All at once a rotten egg splattered in his eye. It was the thing he dreaded most. Ghost chickens in
Chickens in
the
the sky.
sky.
Well done. I knew we could rely on you, Ken.
The ending is good, you know.
and the chorus is "Ba, ba, ba, ba," and so on. All
So they
right.
fried him good and crispy,
Now,
and
I
they
will-
ate him with coleslaw.
Yeah.
He died by the claw. They fried him good and crispy and served him with coleslaw.
Anyway, I will attempt to bring some sanity back to the problem which I caused, and I will mute everybody. Here we go. Okay, I think it's coming out to me. So this is a Scottish song. So my apologies to Anne. It's already written in kind of Scots English, and I further bastardized it to make it somewhat intelligible to the masses. So this is Jock o' Hazeldean, and it's a child ballad, a very long version, but Walter Scott grabbed about 4 or 5 verses, and it got turned into a song. I don't know who wrote the music, but it's suspiciously like Pachelbel's Canon, so it was an easy grab. But it's a tragic story of someone who didn't want to get married, and I think she married down for her happiness. It's got a whistle intro. Why weep ye by the tide, lassie? Why weep ye by the tide? I'll wed ye to my youngest son, and ye shall be his bride. And ye shall be his bride, lassie, sae comely to be seen. But I she let that is the downfall for Jock of Hazeldean. Now let this wilful grief be done, and dry thy cheeks so pale. Young Frank is chief of Errington, and Lord of Langley Dale. His step is first in peaceful hall, his sword in battle keen. But she let the Tizzadune fall for Jock of Hazelden. A chain of gold ye shall not lack, nor braid to bind your hair, nor mettled hound, nor managed hawk, nor palfrey fresh and fair. And you, the foremost of them all, shall ride a forest queen. But she let the Tizzadune fall for Jug of Hazelden. The kirk was decked at morning tide, the tapers glimmered fair, the priest and bridegroom await the bride, and dame and knight are there. They sought her both by bower and hall, the lady wasna seen. She's o'er the border and awa with Jock of Hazelden. She's o'er the border and awa with Jock of Hazelden. Well, there you go. We all tend to be saying what Vincent always says out every song. There you go. It's a true statement. Okay, let's move around to the top again, and it is David, of course, who leads us off, and I will mute everybody. Okay.
There's an English songwriter named Sidney Carter, and this is perhaps his most famous song. It's known to most as the Lord of the Dance, though his original title for it was I Danced in the Morning. And the way most people sing the chorus is dance, dance wherever you may be. But the way he wrote it is dance then wherever you may be. I Danced in the Morning by Sidney Carter. Danced in the morning when the world was begun, danced in the moon and the stars and the sun, came down from heaven and I danced on the earth. At Bethlehem I had my birth. Dance then wherever you may be, for I am the Lord of the dance, said he. I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he. I danced for the scribe and the Pharisee, but they wouldn't dance and they wouldn't follow me. Danced for the fisherman James and John, they came with me and the dance went on. Dance then wherever you may be, for I am the Lord of the dance, said he. I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he. I danced on the Sabbath and I healed the lame. The holy people said it was a shame. They whipped and they stripped and they hung me high, left me there on a cross to die. Dance then wherever you may be, for I am the Lord of the dance, said he. I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he. Danced on a Friday when the sky turned black. It's hard to dance with the devil on your back. They buried my body and they thought I'd gone, but I am the dance and I still go on. Dance then wherever you may be, for I am the Lord of the dance, said he. And I'll lead you wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he. Cut me down, but I leap up high, for I am the life that will never, never die. And I'll live in you if you live in me. I am the Lord of the dance, said he. Dance then wherever you may be, for I am the Lord of the dance, said he. And I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he. Dance then wherever you may be, for I am the Lord of the dance, said he. And I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he. Dance then wherever you may be, for I am the Lord of the dance, said he. And I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he.
Ah, well done.
Very nice read, sure. Yeah.
One of my favorites. I haven't heard that for a long time. Brings me back to high school.
Nice to hear Karen in the background there too. All right, that was great. Very good. All right, now it is Ken's turn. Ken and then Mike. So let me mute everybody. All right.
Hello again. Continuing a theme of emigration. I played a waltz before. I'll play a waltz again. And this one has a Australian-Scottish connection. This is Eric Bogle's I'm Leaving Nancy O. He's a very compelling performer. I had the chance to see him at an intimate coffee house in Philadelphia. And of course, he's the fellow that gave us Liam Clancy's best song, or the one that he's very remembered for. The band played Waltzing Matilda. So let's see. In comes the train, the whole platform shakes, stops with a shudder and screaming of brakes. The parting has come now, my weary soul aches. I'm leaving my Nancy O. But you stand there before me, determinedly gay. You talk of the weather and events of the day, but your eyes tell me all that your tongue doesn't say. I'm leaving my Nancy O. So come a little closer, lay your head upon my shoulder. Let me hold you one last time before the whistle blows. Whistle solo. My kit bag is lifted and stowed on the train. 1,000 regrets swirl around in my brain. This ache in my heart, it's a black sea of pain. I'm leaving my Nancy, oh. But you stand there before me, so lovely to see. The grip of your hand is an unspoken plea. You're not fooling yourself, and you're not fooling me. I'm living my Nancy, oh. So come a little closer, put your head upon my shoulder. Let me hold you one last time before the whistle blows. Da 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 da. The parting has come now, the whistle has blown. Here I must leave you standing alone. We had so little time, and now the time's gone. I'm leaving my Nancy, oh. Then as the train starts gently to roll, I lean out the window to wave and to call. I see the first tears trickle and fall. I'm leaving my Nancy, oh. So come a little closer, put your head upon my shoulder. Let me hold you one last time. I'm leaving my Nancy, oh. Let me hold you one last time. I'm leaving my Nancy, oh. Eric Bogle there.
I sat at a table for an hour and a half with Eric Bogle at the Hong Kong International Folk Festival of 1992.
Oh,
And
wow.
I wasn't invited to the after party, unfortunately, which is where all the good stuff happens. Anyway, he was great performer. Good job on that. It needs a whistle, so he can play the whistle at the end.
It needs the whistle.
Very good job. Well done. Okay, Mike, your turn. Let's go with muting everybody. Oops. Okay.
All right. So I'll go with a sort of a quieter song. I learned this off a Chieftains album with the singing of Kevin Kneff. How pleasant in winter to sit by the hob, just listening to the barks and the howls of the dogs, or to run through the green fields where wild daisies grew, to pluck the wild flowers in the May morning dew. When summer is coming, when summer is near, with the trees all so green and the sky bright and clear, and the wee birds all singing their loved ones to woo, and the young flowers springing in the May morning dew. I remember the old folk, all now dead and gone, and likewise my two brothers, young Dennis and John, how we ran through the heather, the wild hare to pursue, and the proud deer we hunted in the May morning dew. Of the house I was born in, there's but a stone on a stone, and likewise the garden wild thistles have grown, and gone are the neighbors that I once knew. No more will we wander in the May morning dew. Sinead.
That's beautiful.
That was lovely. Plaintive. All right. All right, Terry, you're up next.
Okay. Well, I thought I'd do this. Is going to be short because I only
I'm going to
remember.
mute you first, so.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, I think you're on.
Okay. Well, this is going to be short because I only remember fragments of this song. I thought I'd sing it in case someone such as Anne maybe could help me reconstruct the rest of it and remember who wrote it. And, I got it off an album of protest music, and it comes from the CND, which was the Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament, or the Committee for Nuclear Disarmament in Britain, and the 50s and 60s, and they are well remembered for having invented the peace sign, which was really, they based it on semaphore signals being, let's see, this was N for nuclear and D for disarmament. But this was written by a Scottish protest songwriter whose name completely escapes me. And several of the verses escape me, but maybe somebody can fill in the blanks for me. It goes like this. Oh, doctor, dear doctor, take a warning from me. Don't you go marching with the young CND, for they'll rock you and roll you and shove you into bed. And if they steal your military secrets, you'll wish you were dead. Singing to rely, oh, mother, dear mother, I am not afraid. I'll go on that march and I'll return amain, with a brick in me handbag and a scowl on my face, and barbed wire in me underwear to fend off disgrace. Singing to rely, well, as they were marching, a young man come by, with a beard on his chin and a gleam in his eye. And before she had time to remember her brick, they were holding a sit down on a neighboring hayrick, singing to rely. And then I think there's some other verses in there that are missing. And the last verse was something, she goes and confesses to her mother that she's been ruined at the demonstration, and the mother's, Anyway, the last verse was something, and if we win, though a baby there'll be, he won't have to march like his dada and me, singing Turla, Urla, Urla. So the mystery song. Does anyone heard that?
I've heard it before.
Ah, do you remember any of it, or who was the songwriter?
No.
It has a familiar tune.
Yes, I got that tune
That
somewhere.
helps. All right, that's very good.
Well, look, since time was short, can I squeeze in another here?
Yeah, please. Plenty of time.
Okay, lots of folks think this is. No, let me. You got to mute everybody. That's it.
No, I just mute me. Everyone's muted.
Yeah, you mute yourself. It's a mutual admiration. Uh, so lots of people think this is a Scottish song, and some people think it's a sea chanty, but it's actually an old English music hall song. Me father was the keeper of the Eddystone Line, and he danced with the mermaid one fine night. From this union there come three, a Porgy and a Porpoise, and the other was me. Yo ho ho, the wind blows free, oh for the life on the rolling sea. One night as I was a trimming of the glen, bringing a verse of the evening hymn, voice from starboard shouted high, and there was mother sitting on a boy. Yo ho ho, the wind blows free, oh for the life on a rolling sea. Well, what has become of my children three? My mother, she did ask of me. One was exhibited as a talking fish, and the other was served as a chafing dish. Oh, 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 the wind blows free, oh, for the life on a rolling sea. Well, phosphorus flashed in her seaweed hair, and looked again, and my mother wasn't there. But a voice from sounding through the night, the devil take the keeper of the Eddystone Light. Yo ho ho, the wind blows free, oh for the life on a rolling sea. Did I leave a verse out? I feel like it might have been something
The
missing.
phosphorus flashed in her seaweed
I
hair.
got that one.
You
Yeah.
got that. I think there's only three
Okay, it's a
verses.
short song, so mercifully short.
Well done.
Well done, yeah. All right, very good. We're getting down to the hardcore now for the last hour, the hardcore. And next is Mary Jane. I'm going to mute
Oh,
everybody.
okay.
Here we go, mute all. Okay, unmute yourself and take it away.
Okay, I'm going to do a Tommy Makem song called Ever the Winds. It's yeah, this is the one that's a love song, a thwarted love song. As I went a walking way down by the greenwood, down where the ivy and laurel entwine, I heard a bird singing his sad plaintive love song. He mourned for his true love as I mourn for mine. Ever the winds keep on changing their journey. Ever the waves keep on changing the sea. Evergreen summer keeps changing to autumn. My true love has changed, but there's no change in me. I brought my love flowers all tied up with ribbon. Soon the sweet flowers were faded and gone. Like the flowers, my true love's affections have withered, which leaves me alone here to pine and to mourn. Ever the winds keep on changing their journey. Ever the waves keep on changing the sea. Evergreen summer keeps changing to autumn. My true love has changed, but there's no change in me. My constant companions are sadness and sorrow. Trouble has never forsaken me yet. But wherever I go till my days are all numbered, the love of my soul I will never forget. Ever the winds keep on changing their journey. Ever the waves keep on changing the sea. Evergreen summer keeps changing to autumn. My true love has changed, but there's no change in me.
Oh, that was great. So Tommy Makem wrote that.
Yeah, I think so.
Gorgeous
It's,
tune. Well done. I don't think I've heard
no,
it before.
no, they didn't give anybody else credit for it at any rate.
It's
That's a good
got
one.
bits of roll in my sweet baby's arms. Sometimes there's change in the ocean.
Yeah, that's
Sometimes
lovely.
there's
Lovely
change
song.
in the sea.
All right, very good indeed. All right, and I believe you're up next. So let's mute everyone. Here we go. Okay, it's all yours. Okay, you're still muted, and if you can hear me.
Okay, I shall sing a Gaelic one because I haven't done one tonight
Okay.
yet. And this is it's actually a halyard shanty, and it has a really. No, I'm not. Can you not hear me?
I can. It's my screen says you're muted, but you're not. So there's some Zoom hiccup in here. Oh, there you go. You're good.
That's all right. We can hear you, Anne.
We can hear you. There was just a delay in the.
Oh, okay. Right. This is it's a halyard shanty, and it's got a really cheerful tune, but it's a very sad story. Again, it's people having to leave Scotland for America. Ian beef zondag door voce, fakkel tocha, kunduri him bjauan. Ian beef zondag door voce. Ian kriegloch, tok every hurtak, a boeien magasa, cherding dolle jolig. Ian beef zondag voce, fakkel tocha, kunduri him bjauan. Ian beef zondag voce. Gormische hago kienel, a fachgalachrinnen, a dolden dweich, a yearly lonas, in behalf zondag voce, fachgaler tocha, kunduri in bjauan, in behalf zondag voce. Gormische haforreinen, a dolle jochwinten, en soier doe a glosat, gomollig as jolig, in behem zondag voce, fachkeler docha, kondolri in bjauan, in behem zondag voce. I shin a dog America for nach be caramel who fought of other Scoia'in and Ellen Nova Scotia in the of Sondag and Uler voce fachgaler docha gunduri in bjauan in the of Sondag and Uler voce in the of Sondag and Uler voce. And that's lads be happy going over the ocean,
That was quite well.
leaving our country as we've no hope of a living here. Party loving boys, hoist the sails. A group of my dear folk are setting sail on Thursday. I'm homesick, leaving the Crinan and going to a wild country. We're going to America, where we will have no anxieties as long as the woods last for us on the Isle of Nova Scotia.
All right, that was great. Thank you very much. All right, I think it's my turn, so I'm going to mute everybody. Here we go. Yeah, this is a song from a Silly Wizard, Andy M. Stewart. They were a group in the 70s who were basically a folk rock or Celtic music folk rock band. They had many different people in it. It just so happens that I play in a neighborhood band in Austin, and my harpist, who's an American, has a sister who's been living in the UK for years and is married to one of the former members of this band. But their big times was 70s and 80s. This is another song about leaving and regretting the loss of the home, of going from home. It's called The Valley of Strathmore. By the clear and the winding stream, in the valley of Strathmore, where my love and I have been, where we wander nevermore. But if time was a thing man could buy, Oh, the money that I have in store, I would give for one day by her side in the valley of Strathmore. From the glen of the golden and the green, I left for a land far away, where sadness has never been seen. I enjoy only costs a day's pay, but if time was a thing man could buy, oh, the money that I have in store, I would give for one day by her side in the valley of Strathmore. In Strathmore there's a long working day for a man with his hands on the plough, but it's work I'd be happy to do if at night I were lying with you. But if time was a thing man could buy, oh, the money that I have in store, I would give for one day by her side in the valley of Strathmore. As I take a long draught from my glass, oh, I'm drinking alone here again, and I try not to think of my lass, for the old days will ne'er come again. But if time was a thing man could buy, oh, the money that I have in store, I would give for one day by her side in the valley of Strathmore. Yes, if time was a thing man could buy, oh, the money that I have in store, I would give for one day by her side in the valley of Strathmore.
Oh, pretty.
Well, there you go.
That was Phil and John Cunningham were in that group, weren't they?
They were. They were.
And
I think.
Donald Lunny?
Sorry?
Donald Lunny?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think Phil Cullingham went on to become like the head of the BBC Music and Orchestra, and he went
Phil-
very classical. But he had
Well,
good
Are you sure you don't mean Phil Coulter?
Sorry, Phil Coulter.
Yeah, because Phil Cunningham was quite an inspiration
Yeah.
to my son who picked up accordion. He used to listen to a lot of Phil Cunningham.
Okay. Yeah, good stuff.
Stuart, I'm gonna poop out here, but I'm gonna keep my speakers on and listen to everybody. And
Okay,
when,
just
when you're ready to go, just click the end
Well-
button and say "end meeting" for all.
we'll do. Okay, thanks,
Okay.
Terry.
Thank you.
All right, so we're round to David again.
Thank you, Stuart. This is now for something completely different. This is a song I've just recently learned, and based on the version, the recording by the wonderful Cork songster. That is a songster from the area of Cork in Ireland, and his name was Jimmy Crowley. And he calls this song Ben the Coachman. Now Ben was a Ben was a hackney coachman rare. Jarvis, Jarvis, Terry Macaroner. And loudly'd curse and loudly swear. Tommy Rowe, Tommy Rowe. Now how he would swear when he did drive with his cab number 145. With me ran 10 Tivy till he fall day. As Ben was driving out one day, Jarvis, Jarvis, Jerry Macaroner, a handsome gent came by his way. Tommy Rowe, Tommy Rowe, come here, my man, for I would drive with your cab woman, with your cab number 145, with me rent and Ivy, till fall day. He held a book in his left claw. Jarvis, Jarvis, Jerry Macaroner, just for to show that he studied the law. Tommy Rowe, Tommy Rowe, although he appeared to be mighty civil, Ben knew damn well that he was the devil. With me rent and Ivy till he fall day. Says Ben to the devil, now where would you go? Jarvis, Jarvis, Jerry Macaroner, just as if he didn't know. Tommy Rowe, Tommy Rowe, the devil he thought he'd cut us well, says to Ben, drive straight to hell, with me rent and Ivy till he fall day. Says the devil to Ben, now what is your fare? Jarvis, Jarvis, Jerry Macarona, why 20 guineas for driving you there? Tammy Rowe, the devil paid with a great big grin, for he thought he'd get Ben safely in. With me rant and Ivy till he fall day. So Ben jumped up and he drove pell-mell, Jarvis, Jarvis, Jerry Macaroner, until he arrived at the gates of hell. Tammy Rowe, Ben wouldn't go first in the Gulf of Sin, so he turned his cab around and he backed the devil in. With me rent and Ivy till he fall day. Says the devil to Ben, now your coach I'll burn. Jarvis, Jarvis, Jerry Macaroner, when Ben jumped up fast to return. Tammy Rowe, me horse and car can go to pot, for they're insured and I am not. With me rent and Ivy till he fall day. So Ben jumped up and he drove home fast. Jarvis, Jarvis, Jerry Macaroner, until he arrived safe home at last. Tommy Rowe, now Ben doesn't curse and he has good luck, for the devil he doesn't give a damn. With me rent and Ivy till he fall day.
Done.
Well done. What did Karen say?
She said, they're stunned.
It's just there's outrageous applause. It's just a delay in the electronics getting to you. As a public performer, expect nothing and then you're not disappointed. All right, moving right along. It's Ken's turn. So, mute everybody. Here we go.
All right, one of the rare songs that I do in an open tuning, and this this is from a movie that I saw probably in the late '60s, and it was an adaptation of is it Thomas Hardy's "Far from the Madding Crowd," and this just transported me because I like period pieces, and this caused me. I think it starred Oliver Reed and Julie Christie, and caused me to have quite a crush on Julie Christie. I probably harbored some notion that if I learned this song, she would fall in love with me. So, I don't think it's Celtic though. I think it's British. Somebody probably knows and can set me straight. I sow the seeds of love, and I sow them in the springtime, in April, May, and sunny June, when small birds sweetly sing, when small birds sweetly sing. My gardener standing by, and I asked him to choose for me. He chose for me the violet, the lily, and the pink, but these I refused all three. These I refused all three. The violet I forsook, because she fades too soon. The lily and the pink I did quite really overthink, and vowed I'd wait till June. I vowed I'd wait till June. In June there's a red, red rose, and that's the flower for me. I pulled and I plucked at the thorny briar, and gained a willow tree, and gained a willow tree. The willow it will twist, and the willow it will twine. I wish that I were back in that young girl's arms that once held this heart of mine, that once held this heart of mine. I sow the seeds of love, I sow them in the springtime, in April, May, and sunny June, when small birds sweetly sing, when small birds sweetly sing. There you go.
Yeah, it's very cool. She sang that at the Harvest Festival with her three suitors in the room.
Oh, stop! You're killing me.
And here's the thing: in the book, in the novel, she actually sings a different song that Thomas Howard actually writes out the song lyrics.
Ah,
It's called "The Banks of Allan Water." It's another tragic tale of mistreated. This is anyway. It's a lovely song and it fit the movie very well. So
I went out and bought the soundtrack.
yeah, there you go. Very good. Lovely take on that. Well done, sir. Well done. All right, Mike. I'm going to mute everyone and okay.
All right. So this one goes with David's. I love, there's a lot of songs out there with the devil involved. This was called The Devil and the Bailiff. One fine pleasant evening last summer, I was strolling through Cahersiveen, when a pair of queer playboys cologning before me I happened to see. Now to know what these fellas were up to, a trifle I hastened my walk, and sure I learned their profession when I got within line of their talk. Well, one of these lads was the devil, and the other was Bailiff McGlynn. Sure, one was as nice as the other. They both were as ugly as sin. Says the old lad, you know I'm the devil, and you are the bailiff, I see. 'Tis the devil himself, says the bailiff. Sure, that beats the devil, said he. Then a young lad ran out of the cottage, and off with him over the fields. May the devil take you, says his mother, as she rattled a stone at his heels. Now why don't you take the young rascal? Your Highness, the bailiff, he cried. 'Twas not from her heart that the wish came. The devil, he smiling replied. Close by a small plot of potatoes, a bum was striving to dig, when the owner ran out and she shouted, may the devil take you for his pig. Said the bailiff, now there's a fine answer, why not take the bum, said he. Says the devil, her lips only said it, and that's not sufficient for me. As they jogged on, a young man espied them, and into his mother he fled, crying, oh, mother dear, it's the bailiff. And she clasped her two hands and she said, may the devil take that ugly bailiff. So the devil be that I'll do. It was straight from my heart that the wish came, so Bailiff McGlynn, I'll take you. And he did.
Good one, very good one. All right, excellent. All right, moving right along to Mary Jane.
Oh, that's it.
I'm going to step away from the screen for 2 seconds to let my dog out, but I'm coming right back. So anyway, I mute everybody. There we go. Okay, Mary Jane, all yours.
Okay, I'm unmuted. So I guess I can start again. I'm going to do another Tommy Makem song. This one is not a love song. It's just kind of a song about the sea. It's called The Songs the Water Sings. Go down to the water's rim and hear the waters roll, and the music of their lonely hymn will seep into your soul and penetrate your very bones and steal your heart away with ever-changing undertones to haunt you night and day. Listen by the rocky shore, you'll hear the seabirds cry, a song you've never heard before, to mermaids passing by. And hear the mermaids answering in murmurs soft and sweet, above the small waves whispering and sighing at your feet. Rolling like a timpani, the wild waves pound the shore, crescendo of a symphony, the thundering oceans roar. Sometimes you'll hear lost sailors' moans across that storm-wrecked sea, the laughter of old Davy Jones very carefully and learn the magic tales of men and maids and life at sea, of seals and sharks and whales. And when you've learned the watery lore of all these mystic things, your heart will sing forevermore the songs the water sings.
Yay!
Very nice. Never heard that one before. That's great.
I've actually played it once before, but it was several months ago.
What I hear.
I was afraid people would get on my case for playing it over again.
Oh,
I'm going to have to start playing them over again. I'm running out of Celtic songs.
you only got
Listen.
one little fit at one time, so that was great. All right, it's time for Anne, and I will mute everyone. Here we go. Okay.
It's not Celtic songs I'm running out of, it's voice. Down yonder den there's a bloomin' lad, and some summer's day he'll be all my ain. And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o, the bloomin' laddies are all the go. Well, I love his teeth, and I love his skin, I love the very cat he huddles in. And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o, the bloomin' laddies are all the go. Down yonder den I could ha' gotten a merchant, but all his stuff was no worth a groat. And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o, the bloomin' laddies are all the go. Down yonder den I could ha' gotten a miller, but the smell o' dust would ha' done me ill. And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o, the bloomin' laddies are all the go. Well, it's ilka time I gang tae the stock, I hear his wheep gie the other crack. And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o, the bloomin' laddies are all the go. Well, I see him coming frae yonder toon, wi' all his ribbons hinging roon and roon. And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o, the bloomin' laddies are all the go. Well, now I've gotten my bloomin' lad, as bad as ever he left the blue. And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o, the bloomin' laddies are all the go. And sing laddie-I, and sing laddie-o, the bloomin' laddies are all the go.
Well done, Ann.
Very good. I may have my dog accompany me in this next song because She understands 1 hour of music is heaven. 2 hours of music she can tolerate, but 3 hours sitting in one place, what the hell am I doing? And I never asked myself that question personally. But, okay, I'm going to mute everybody. All right. It's another Tommy Makem song. I heard this sung by a. I lived for 7 years in. Some of you know the story. I lived for 7 years in Hong Kong, and the local folk society were all Irish musicians and some local Chinese guys, a couple of English, but dominated by the Irish. And there was an international folk festival in 1992, and I was on the bill. I was like the 42nd act for two whistle tunes, and Eric Bogle was the top guy. But one of the great local musicians, Irish musicians, was an Irish Catholic priest who could sell every love song like he really meant it. And he was so bored with his parish work, he learnt a new instrument every year. So anyway, I first heard this song by him, Brian Lawless, Father Brian Lawless. It's called Fair and Lovely Annie, and he sold it to me. Fair and lovely Annie, your gentle ways have won me, giving peace and joy and laughter everywhere. Where you go, the sunshine follows, you're the breath of spring in winter. My heart and soul are always in your care. A gentle Annie, gentle Annie. My heart and soul are always in your care. When you touch me with your fingers, my cares and worries vanish, like the morning dew before the rising sun. When your eyes tell me you love me, then my soul is filled with wonder. My love for you will live when life is done. A gentle Annie, gentle Annie. My love for you will live when life is done. You're the flower among the flowers, the bird song in the morning. You're the laughter of the children at their play. You're my hope and joy and wisdom. You're my reason just for living. You're my treasure, you're my very night and day. A gentle Annie, gentle Annie. You're my treasure, you're my very night and day. When the mountains all come tumbling, and the earth has stopped its turning, and the winds don't blow, and the stars refuse to shine, when the moons have left the heavens, and the seven seas are empty, I will still have gentle Annie on my mind. A gentle Annie, gentle Annie. I will still have gentle Annie on my mind. A gentle Annie, gentle Annie. I will still have gentle Annie on my mind. There you go. All right. It's time for David. Mute everyone. That didn't. Okay, David. Sorry.
So this is one of the poems that I've set to music from a traditional tune. It's by John Keats, and he called it La Belle Dame Sans Merci, which in this context means the beautiful lady without mercy. And the tune that I've chosen is a beautiful Irish air known as Valencia Harbor, also known as Auran Nalar. Oh, what can ail me, knight at arms, alone and palely loitering? The sedge has withered from the lake, and no birds sing. Oh, what can ail thee, knight at arms, so haggard and so woebegone? The squirrel's granary is full, and the harvest done. I see a lily on thy brow, with anguish moist and fever dew, and on thy cheeks a fading rose fast withereth too. I met a lady in the meads, full beautiful, a fairy's child. Her hair was long, her foot was light, and her eyes were wild. I made a garment for her head, and bracelets too, and fragrant zone. She looked at me as she did love, and made sweet moan. I set her on my pacing steed, and nothing else all day long. For sidelong would she bend and sing a fairy song. She found me roots of relish sweet, and honey wild and manadoo, and sure in language strange she said, I love thee true. She took me to her elfin grot, and there she wept and sighed full sore. And there I shut her wild, wild eyes with kisses for. And there she lulled me asleep, and there I dreamed I woe betide, the latest dream I ever dreamed on the cold hillside. I saw pale kings and princes too, pale warriors, death pale were they all. They cried, La belle dame sans merci, thee hath enthralled. I saw their starved lips in the gloam, with horrid warning gaped wide. And I awoke and found me here on the cold hillside. And this is why I sojourn here, alone and palely loitering, though the sedge is withered from the lake, and no birds sing.
Aye. A little bit of musical Keats. Musical Keats. Benny had a he may have lived longer. Hey, that's a terrible joke. Sorry. Terrible joke. All right, let's move along now to Michael. I'm gonna mute everybody. Here we go. Okay, all yours.
All right. Well, this one's also by Tommy Makem, and I'm sure most of you know it. Four Green Fields, and of course the woman in it is Ireland, and the green fields are the original four counties. What did excuse me? What did I have? Says the fine old woman. What did I have? This proud old woman did say, I had 4 green fields, each one was a jewel, but strangers came and tried to take them from me. I had fine, strong sons who fought to save my jewels. They fought and they died, and that was my grief, said she. Long time ago, said the fine old woman. Long time ago, this proud old woman did say, there was war and death, plundering and pillage. My children starved by mountain, valley, and sea, and their wailing cries, they shook the very heavens. My 4 green fields ran red with their blood, said she. What what have I now? Said the fine old woman. What have I now? This proud old woman did say, I have 4 green fields, one of them's in bondage, in strangers' hands, that tried to take it from me. But my sons have sons, as brave as were their fathers. My 4th green field will bloom once again, said she.
I didn't catch that. Yeah.
Good job. All right, we got 5 minutes left. Let's see if we can get Mary Jane and then we'll finish up with David. So might be a couple of minutes over, but let me mute everyone. Here we go. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna do a Dougie McLean song. It's the only one I know, but it's kind of a reverse transportation song. He was working in Australia and he wanted to come back home to Scotland. That's the sentiments of this song. It's called Caledonia. I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me in these last few days. I've been afraid that I might drift away. I've been telling old stories, singing songs that make me think about where I came from, and that's the reason why I seem so far away today. Let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, now I'm going home. If I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. I have moved and I've kept on moving, proved the points that I needed proving, lost the friends that I needed losing, found others on the way. I have kissed the fair lads and left them sighing, stolen dreams, yes, there's no denying, traveled hard, sometimes with conscience flying, somewhere with the wind. Let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, now I'm going home. If I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever here before the fire. In an empty room, the forest choir, the flames that couldn't get any higher, they've withered now, they've gone. But I'm steady thinking my way is clear, and I know what I will do tomorrow when the hands have shaken and the kisses flowed, and I will disappear. Let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, now I'm going home. For if I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had.
Well done, excellent. Douglas Menzies McLean. All right, because it's 11 o'clock where Anne is, so we're going to go an extra 5 minutes to let her do one more song before David takes us out here. So, Anne, it's all yours. I'm muting everyone right now. Okay. Trying to unmute, and it's yours.
An Irish one for a change, if my voice gets through. October winds lament around the castle of Dromore, yet peace is in its lofty halls, my loving treasure store. The autumn leaves may droop and die, a bud of spring are you. Sing hush-a-bye-loo-la, loo-lo-lan, hush-a-bye-loo-lo-lan. Ring no ill winds to hinder us, my hapless babe and me. Dread spirit of the black water, Clan Owen's wild banshee, and Holy Mary pitying, in heaven for grace doth see. Sing hush-a-bye-loo-la, loo-lo-lan, hush-a-bye-loo-lo-lan. Take time to thrive, my rose of hope, in the gardens of Dromore. Take heed, young eagle, till thy wings are feathered fit to soar. A little rest, and then this world is full of things to do. Sing hush-a-bye-loo-la, loo-lo-lan, hush-a-bye-loo-lo-lan. Sing hush-a-bye-loo-la, loo-lo-lan, hush-a-bye-loo-lo-lan. Yes, I know I did that in several keys. Sorry.
No, you were
It was wonderful.
Trying to play along.
you were all in D. It was good. It was good. Now you've lullabied yourself to sleep.
That's a wonderful song. Yeah, well done.
We do one more nightcap, which is David. I leave it on. Well, I'm gonna mute everybody because it messes up the system. And then David, there we go. Mute all. Anyway, before we go, thanks everybody Thanks for coming every Saturday and every first and third Sundays. Check it out online. Bye. Here we go. Here's David.
The Parting Glass. Oh, all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that I ever did, alas, it was to none but me. But since it falls unto, and all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, had I the money enough to spend, and leisure time to sit a while, there is a fair maid in this town, who sorely has my heart beguiled. Her rosy cheeks and ruby lips, I own she has my heart in thrall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, all the comrades I ever had, they're sorry for my going away. And all the sweethearts that ever I knew, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call, good night and joy be with you all. I'll softly rise and I'll gently call, good night and joy be with you all. Good night, everyone.
Well done.
See you next time.
Next time.
Thanks for
Bye.
great music.
Thank you, Olive.
Bye.
That jig is happy to meet and sorry to part.
Yeah.
All right. By the power invested in me, I'm going to hit the end button.
Bye now.
Bye.